Well, I'm a person that has a lot of interest in the Wild West and the characters and the people involved in that. Wyatt Earp, Tom Horn, people like that, Matt Masterson, et cetera, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And I've read a lot of books over the years about these guys and the Dalton Gang and other things, you know? And I'm not a history teacher at a college or anything. I'm just a person that's interested in that sort of stuff, you know? And I've done a lot of reading over the years, and I've been on that website, Remember the Dead website, for quite a few years and left messages at a lot of those different sites.
Yeah. Well, I think that's interesting for me because I think that that's what I associate myself as. I'm just someone that found his story interesting.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you there. It is interesting, yeah.
And I also saw that you seemed very passionate about Tom Horn's innocence.
Well, I'll tell you, I've studied about Tom Horn over the years, and Tom Horn, he had an interesting life. He was the fifth of 5 of 12 children when he was born there, and his father apparently, there's some indication his father abused him some, and at the age of 16, he ran off from home, or left home anyway, and did a lot of things over the years in different cities. After he left home, he was worked for as a lawman, a detective, and guns for hire, and over the years, and he got involved later in his life with these cattlemen, and the situation there, the way it played out, was something that, he didn't really get a fair trial, in my estimation, and actually in a lot of other people's too. He was involved and got to know these people, Jim and Dora Miller, who were cattle people, and they didn't get along with Kells Nichols. He was a sheep herder, and I'll tell you, this was a definite situation there because the way it worked out, these cattlemen didn't like these sheep herders because apparently these sheep nibbled the grass clear down there, and there's nothing left for the cattle. I'm not a person that's ever worked on a ranch, but that's the way it's described in the history books, you know. This situation was these two families didn't get along with each other. I don't know for a fact that Tom Horn killed killed this kid. There's not actually any real proof either direction, but the indication is from the evidence that's come up that he didn't do it, And in any case, he was interviewed by the sheriff when he was under the influence, and that's crazy, But people supposedly killed 17 people, and he worked for these cattlemen for quite a while as a gun for hire, and he actually did kill a lot of people. I mean, there's no question about that. I don't think he even denied that. I think, according to the record, which of course could be questionable, but he killed up to 17 people, and these were cattle rustlers. Actually, a lot of these people needed killing. According to the law of the Texas range back in that era, and the Wyoming range and every other range, so he actually killed a lot of these cattle rustlers, which at that time was considered totally lawful because they were rustling people's cattle. And but the fact that he wasn't actually a murderer. I don't think he was ever a murderer. I really have to question whether he killed his kid. There was a female teacher that roomed with these people and was teaching these kids. They brought her in and hired her, Glenn Dorleen, and she knew Tom Horn pretty well. I don't think there was any romantic thing, but I mean, they were friends, He had never believed that he was guilty, that she thought he was innocent. It's one of those things where there's no possible way of absolutely proving yay or nay, because nobody saw this kid get killed, and nobody could actually prove that Tom Horn didn't do it or didn't do it. But they took this confession that was actually prompted by the sheriff there when he was under the influence and used that, and the trial was a fair trial, absolutely. Whether he did or not, he didn't get a fair trial. I have visited the grave of a number of these people, but I haven't visited the grave of Tom Horn. I haven't actually been to Colorado in quite a few years to actually visit the state, so I just haven't been able to get out there to that,
Well, I happen to have a picture of his grave, so I can send that to you too.
Oh yeah, hey,
that would be cool.
Good. Yeah, I've always felt Tom Horn got a bad shake,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be in touch. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you, Miss Ryan.
Yeah, nice talking to you.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, speak soon. Bye.